Module 5 of Mystic Mailer Pro. And in Module 5, I want to give you guys some free softwares, cloud-based softwares that I found on the internet that have really come in handy and helped me when it comes to creating awesome emails that get me results. The first one I want to talk to you about is called Resumer. So let me go ahead and go over to our mind map. Let's talk about it and let me show you how it works. Okay, guys, so here we are on a handy dandy mind map. And the first one I do want to talk to you about is called Resumer. What Resumer does is Resumer summarizes any blog post or article. It summarizes it, right? Literally summarizes it. You can find this at resumer.com, RESOOMER.com. All right. And let me pull it up here and let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are on Resumer. All right, so this is what it looks like. And let me give you an example of what I mean. If I go over here to, free PLR, and I'll just type that in or something. I can, this is free PLR downloads. You know what I'm looking for? I don't even want to get into all that. I want to get into like just PLR. Let's do this another way. PLR articles. Let's do that. And we got plrplr.com here, which is a kind of a neat little website. It's just got a bunch of PLR articles, right? So I can go over here and I can look up. Let's see. Let's just go down here to eyes. And we find good old all-American internet marketing. And here we got, let's see, we got perfect marketing by article marketing is easy with these 5 tips. All right, so this is just an example, right? This got 749 words. What if I wanted just to summarize this article, I could just like grab it, copy it, come over here to resume, paste it in here, and I can go ahead and hit this resume button. And what it's going to do is it's going to summarize this article for me. It's going to reduce it by a percentage. Now, keep in mind, it's not perfect, right? Resumer is a machine trying to do the work of an editor, right? And it's amazing what it can do, but you still need to proofread this stuff and make sure it makes sense. Now, this thing took 755 words and took it down to 397 words. And if you read this article, you're going to find that it makes sense. But we got to remember, I see in the original article, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things here. And I'm not seeing like those 5 things in this. So what it boils down to is with Resumer, usually what I do is I'll do this and then I'll just cut and I'll cut this out and I'll put it in a Word document and I'll just read it over really quick, right? And then maybe I'll add a couple extra things from this original article if I need to, right? But let me tell you something. This tool is very handy. All right. It's very handy. It's almost like it makes it a lot easier for you. It's almost like you have a helper, right? You're like, okay, I got a 1,000-word article. I want to like make it much smaller so it's an easier email to read, right? Resume will help you do that. It's going to need your help a little bit too. You're going to have to read your reduced size article and see if it makes sense and if it's still something cool or not, right? But it's a big help. It's a lot easier than trying to do all the heavy lifting yourself of taking something giant and then reducing it in size. Check this out. What else you can do? You can go to manual. And this is really cool, man. You can go to manual here, and you can actually choose how much reduction you want. You can take it like 90%, 80%. You can take it down to really, really low to where it'll summarize the whole thing in a couple sentences for you if you want. But here we are. And as we choose things, you'll see the article right here is changing right below before our very eyes. I can take it all the way down to 10%. So this is interesting. And this is a really cool tool. It does a lot of heavy lifting. How else can you use something like Resumer besides just using it for PLR articles? All right. Well, what if you read a really cool blog article? You know, what if you read a really cool blog article, but it wasn't yours? What could you do? If you read a really, for example, let me delete this. All right. Let me go over to, let's just say this was someone else's blog article. Same article, someone else's, but it's not PLR anymore. Let's just pretend like this isn't PLR, right? It's someone else's thing, all right? You can go over to Resumer. You can type it in here. You can go ahead and have it resumed. Give this a few minutes here. Let Resumer do the heavy lifting of summarizing this article. So what we're doing is, by summarizing this article, we're changing it. We are changing this article. If this was someone else's article, we have just changed it a little bit. Now, we haven't changed the wording or anything, but we've summarized it. Now, what you want to do now is you want to take this, put it in a Word document, make sure your new article makes sense. Make sure it wasn't summarized too much. I mean, Resumer is a great little robot tool, but I mean, you still need some human intelligence reading it and making sure it actually is something that's providing value. All right. Now, once you've done that and you make sure it makes sense, what you want to do is you want to come over here to another little tool. All right. Free article spinner. All right. This is another free little tool you can use. It's an article spinner, and if you don't know what that is, basically what it's going to do is it's going to change some of the words in the article to make it more unique, right? So we'll input the original article there, our resumed article, the article that we resumed, we cut in half, and by cutting it in half and summarizing it, we have changed it. We've made it a little bit more unique. And then what we can do is we can spin it, right? Now, we can go ahead and spin it. And then we got some options down here to also spin capitalized words or comma separated words or partial words to skip. You can put words in here you want to skip. You don't want them to change. But this is what it's going to do is it's going to change the article. You have to capture the interest of your readers and give them to keep on reading and get them to keep on reading. You need to catch the enthusiasm of your perusers and get them to continue perusing. You see how some of it doesn't quite make sense? Some of it doesn't quite make sense, and you might have to do some human innovation in here. You might have human interacting, but tools like Free Article Spinner and tools like Resumer are here to do the heavy lifting for you. So that way, when you take this output text, you put it in a Word document, and then you edit this. It's going to be smaller, it's going to be more manageable, and it's going to be more original. But you can use tools like Resumer and Free Article Spinner to create emails based off of others' work, but add your own uniqueness to it. You're basically trying to convey the same ideas that they were conveying, but you want it to be in a more original way. So you can use tools like Resumer and Free Article Spinner to do that. Now, you feel free to say, hey, I was reading a great article. I was reading great, this kind of an email, and it really does start off like this. But feel free to say in your emails, hey, I was reading a great blog post the other day by, Ryan Dice, and in it, he was talking about this. Basically, and then boom, you go into the resumed article, right? It's been resumed, it's been spun, and then you've edited the resumed and spun article, right? Now, these simple little tools can do the heavy lifting for you, and they make it a lot easier to try to summarize an article that you read that you would like to convey to your readers. This free article spinner, there's better article spinners, there's worse article spinners. This one's free, it's online, and to be honest with you, I really hate article spinners. But if you're in a hurry, this is, like I said, it's a simple tool to do some heavy lifting for you. Some of this stuff won't make sense, and you're going to need to use your human brain to change these words that don't make sense. Like, you need to catch the enthusiasm of your perusers. What? That doesn't even make sense. But it can easily be changed to audience, can it? It can easily be changed to audience, right? So it's really nice. Like I said, 2 simple tools to do heavy lifting for you, and it's good. Now, keep in mind here, guys, I'm not telling you to go out there and copy other people's work. What I'm saying is, when we read articles by other people that inspire us, and we'd like to convey that to our email list or to our readers, we can easily give them credit for, what we read. But then how do we, tell that story? You know what I mean? We read the blog article. It's like 2,000 words. It's an epic blog post. We got a lot of value out of it. Now we're going to try to convey that to our list, right? Or we're going to try to convey that to our audience, right? In our own words. How do we do that? Well, sometimes that can be hard to try to summarize someone else's work in your own words, and it takes time. And what I'm telling you is a tool like Resumer can help you tremendously, because it's going to do the heavy lifting of summarizing. And then you can use something like Free Article Spinner to kind of like get away from the language of the original poster, right? So Free Article Spinner is going to allow you to get away from the language of the original poster, and it's going to allow you to go through the spun article and kind of edit it yourself and kind of insert your own language into it. And what these 2 things do, like I said a million times already, is they just do the heavy lifting. So it's pretty cool. Not telling you to go out there and copy other people's work. I'm telling you this is a way to summarize other people's work and to make it more into your own unique language, and to basically convey it in your own language to your audience, right? And they're very helpful tools. So anyways, what else can I tell you about this? Oh, the other thing I would say is, yes, if you're using Resumer and you're using Free Article Spinner and you're trying to convey someone else's work, yes, you can use anybody's work for that, all right? But you have to be careful to speak in your own language. These are 2 tools designed to do the heavy lifting. You still have to convey it in your own language, okay? So that editing process that you will do at the end of it still has to be done, okay? Now, the other thing I will say is when you're dealing with PLR, you don't have to be as careful, right? You don't have to be as careful. You got rights to the PLR. You could use it as is, but you're just trying to make it a little bit more unique so that you stand out a little bit. So with the PLR, you don't have to be as careful. If you want to know my favorite way to use PLR for emails is I just like to, I'll take like a PLR book, right? I'll take a book on like email marketing, right? And let's say I was going to be promoting like a course about email marketing. I might take get a PLR book about email marketing, and I might break the chapters up. Like each chapter would be like an email, right? So now let's say there's 10 chapters in this book. I have a 10 email sequence, right? Each chapter is another email. But maybe those chapters are a little bit too big for email. So what do? I cut and paste the chapter into Resumer. I summarize the chapter with Resumer, and then maybe I spin the chapter with Free Article Spinner, and then I look at what I got, and I turn that into my email. So in that kind of scenario, I can create like a 10 email autoresponder sequence, and the PLR is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for me. Resumer and Free Article Spinner is going to do more heavy lifting for me, and then I'm going to be left with these nice little articles to manage and to turn into emails. And very quickly, I'm going to have a 10 email autoresponder sequence that I can use to promote something with, and I'm going to have it like in like less than an hour probably. So it's pretty cool when you think about it like that. Now, if you want to know my favorite place to get PLR, My favorite place is called Big Product Store. And Big Product Store has a lot of PLR, to put it bluntly. They have a lot of good PLR. They have a lot of bad PLR. But most importantly, they just have a lot of PLR. And they're always adding more stuff. And that's why I like them. What I did was I basically I just got lifetime access. And I think lifetime access to this, I think it was on sale for like $100 for lifetime access. You can't beat that, man. That's paid for itself for me, like many times over. Let's see what they're trying to see. Yeah, look at this. Okay, lifetime membership, $177 for lifetime membership. That's what I got. It was actually $197 when I got it, but it's paid for itself like many times over. And if you're going to do internet marketing, man, it's really smart to have access to a couple of good PLR sites. But that's what I use. There's plenty of free PLR resources out there, you guys. You don't have to get that, but I just want to let you know what I personally use and find quite helpful. But that's it for Resumer, guys. It's a really cool little tool designed to do heavy lifting, and I hope that helps you. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Yeah, I hope that helps you guys. It's really cool, and man, when I first found Resumer, I just like flipped the script. I just couldn't believe that they had this little tool that would just like automatically summarize articles, and it doesn't always get them right. You know, it's funny like how Resumer chooses to summarize articles sometimes. But I tell you what, man, if you're looking for something just to help you do some heavy lifting on like a 2,000 word article, and you just want to summarize it into a 500-word email, Resumer is a really cool tool to help you do that. So anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next video, and we're going to talk about some more software.